Good afternoon, and welcome to the Mon Valley Fisherman Podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by All-Star Custom Tees. If you guys don't know who Marty Pellegrini is, he is from the Mon Valley and from Monongahela, and he is one of the best screen printers, guys to make your hats, hoodies, anything you guys really need to be something to be printed onto a shirt, hoodie, hat, regardless as to what it is, backpacks, whatever it is. That's the man to go to. Make sure you check out All-Star Custom Tees on Facebook, and I will have his email down below if you would like to order some shirts and or hats or hoodies. But let's get right into today's topic. Hey guys, I got a few things to announce actually. One is that I am no longer a part of PC Fun. I have not been doing my end on PC Fun, and we have cut ties. For one thing, to be honest with you, didn't put that much effort into it due to the fact that I'm more focused on right now trout fishing and fly fishing, and it's not like I'm not using their product or anything along those lines. It's just it's just certain things that I like to do during my videos or whatnot, and I have a certain way of doing things, and it just didn't work out, which is perfectly fine. I have no problems with PC Fun. PC Fun has been an awesome supporter of the Mon Valley Fishermen, and I would love for you guys to at least go check them out at pcfun.com and check out their rods and reels. Like, their rods are great, their reels are phenomenal for the price. You guys can't beat them, but just go check them out. And also, I am no longer a part of Screwy Louie Lures. It's one of those decisions where you have to make and say, hey, do you want to stay with a company or not? And I love Screwy Louie Lures. Do not get me wrong. I love their product. I use their product. Still will continue to use their product. But at the same time, I feel as if that my strengths and whatnot is not being utilized correctly in Screwy Louie Lures. And also, new ownership has taken over, and I've just not been in communication or have had as much communication as I would like with the new owner. And also towards the end of last year and all pretty much of last year, I barely spoke to the last owner, and I just feel as if that there's no reason for me to stay with Screwy Louie Lures. I'm not trying to bad name them at all, because their products are still top of the line, grade A, tournament grade jigs, spinner baits, chatter baits, and whatnot. So check them out also. There's no hard feelings, and when this kind of thing happens, you guys, you have to realize what's best for you and what's best for them. And if you feel like that you are not so much sick and tired or not motivated, but when you get to a point where you have barely any communication with one of your sponsors, that's just I don't want to say it's wrong, because I'm not trying to badmouth them at all, and because I don't want to, because they've been such a great company to work with and such a great product to have in my tackle box and utilize what they have, and I will still continue to use their products. But I just wanted to update you guys on that. Now, it is, mid-February now, guys, and March is coming up here soon, which is awesome, because here pretty soon we're going to get some trout stockings getting ready to go within the next couple months. Walleye are going to start biting. Lakes are going to start unthawing. Smallmouth are going to start moving. It's just one of those great times of the year where you can utilize the rivers, creeks, ponds, and whatnot around you more and more, because the weather's changing. And one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is where Marty and I and Dan Cheplick went to on our last video. I'm not going to give you guys specific places as to where we went, due to the fact I feel as if putting streams and places where it's out in the middle of nowhere, I don't want to put pressure on those places. Not saying I get tons of views, but also I want to respect that body of water and don't feel like every time I go there that I'm going to see someone else. Or I'm not saying that people are going to do that, but it does happen. But last video you guys seen was about maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago. And you guys seen that it was called Chasing Blue Lines. If you haven't checked that, I will also leave that down in the description below. Tag Chasing Blue Lines and go ahead and click that link and it'll take you right to that video. It was one of my favorite videos to edit due to the fact that there was snow everywhere. I mean, it's 6 inches of snow the night before or the day before. Then the night after or the morning after all that, the road that we were heading on had 3 tractor trailers jackknifed early that morning. So we couldn't even leave early to get to where we wanted to go due to the fact that the traffic was held up tremendously. And also, it probably was a blessing that we did not go that early due to the fact that the weather was not cooperating at that certain point. But yeah, we were using Y2Ks. I forget specifically what Marty was using, but he was using a sexy waltz worm, I believe it's called. And I can't remember what the end was called. Not a hot shot or anything along those lines, but it was an awesome. This stream that Marty and I go to quite a bit. We're very confident. We are very confident when we end up at this native stream due to the fact. I keep saying due to the fact. I'm sorry about that, you guys, but due to the fact that we catch fish consistently there, and when you want to, and especially when it comes to this wild and native trout fishing around this area, or about 2 hours away or an hour away, the population of native trout is not that big. But when you go to the specific stream that Marty and I have been going to for the past few weeks and month, we usually at least pull out one fish out of the first hole that we go to. We pretty much know that there is going to be a fish there that is willing to bite our fly. And so we decided to go to there and start there in Lit Cheplik the day before the second day. And he had a couple of hits. Marty had a couple of hits. I had a couple of hits, but the fish seemed as if they were not cooperating. The snow was starting to melt. The water level was up, not muddy at all, because it's a mountain stream. It's still clear, but it seemed like that water level, that rise of the water level, actually threw the fish for a loop. So we decided that we were going to go try some other places, go and see what's happening at these other places. And the next place that we get to, Dan Cheplik was throwing an egg pattern underneath of a thingamabobber, and the crazy thing about it is this rainbow trout that you guys seen on my latest video. This rainbow trout kept chasing his float on top of the water, and it kept hitting it, but it wouldn't take his fly underneath. So I got behind Dan and I asked him. I said, "Do you mind if I make a couple casts there with a Y2K?" And if you guys haven't figured out what a Y2K is, you need to Google what a Y2K fly is, because it is one of my go-tos. And don't get me wrong, I haven't tried a ton of flies, but if I'm going to find a fly, like I do with bass fishing, if I could find a specific lure that I'm going to fish with, I want to have confidence in it, especially when you're fishing for native fish, because sometimes they are very spooky, or a lot of people tell me that those natives will pretty much hit anything, but I don't want to change what I consistently have done throughout this winter, because I know that the fly works and I know the fish are going to eat it. So I tied on the Y2K, let it float, picked it back up, made another cast, let it float, and as soon as it got to the end of my drift, donk, hook set, brought the fish in. Was one of the coolest landings I've ever done. Also, I brought this fish in and literally scooped it up, wasn't squeezing the fish. And that's another thing that Marty and I are going to talk to you guys about, is fishing etiquette, how to handle the fish and whatnot. And I picked this fish up, showed it to the camera, got the fly right out of his mouth, put him right back in the water. The fish swam away perfect. And this place that we went to there was about 40 minutes from our other native stream that we like to fish. And if you guys remember, about 3 or 4 videos ago, I caught a giant rainbow trout out of this same exact hole. I mean, one of the biggest rainbow trout I've ever caught in my life on a fly rod. Probably second biggest to my West Virginia Elk Springs Resort very first video, and that was a monster trout too. But so we are fishing the stream. Marty's down further down. Dan's still at the main hole, and I decide to walk up. And once we walk up, there's like 3 consecutive waterfalls that happens in between about 100 and 125 yards. So I start walking up. I get about chest level to the waterfall, and I make a cast upstream. And I'm letting, and this is before I climb up the waterfall, and I make this awesome cast. You know, there's a certain time where you guys are going to get, if you just are getting into fly fishing, you guys are going to have these instincts as to get ready for this bite because of your cast. And you just know, especially when you keep doing it, watching videos, keep fishing constantly, it reminds you that, you know, anything can happen at any time, especially while native fishing. And what I found out was that these fish were actually at the ends of the runs in the slowest water, because of the cold front the night before, I think, and the raise of a little bit of the water levels push them down a little bit, so they stay out of that main current and hide underneath the rocks and whatnot. So I drift my Y2K perfectly through this hole, and I didn't even get 2 casts on this. This is my first cast drifting, and bam, I caught one of the most beautiful native brook trout I have ever seen in my entire life. And if you guys haven't seen that video, you guys need to go and check out that video. Like I said, it'll be down in the description below. That was one of the most beautiful fish I've ever caught in my life. Got him back in the water safe and sound. I watched him swim away, and we got video of him swimming away. And then I walked up at least another 50 yards, and I'm still got the Y2K on, no float, no nothing. And I make a cast, same type of drift, where I'm standing chest level at the next set of falls, and I make the cast up, boom, catch one of the fattest native brook trout I've ever caught in my entire life. I mean, this thing has been eaten, and I mean, he is full of either larva or whatever he was eating. Zebra midges, something. He was eating something, maybe freshwater shrimp. I'm not sure. But this fish was one of the chunkiest native brook trout I have ever caught. And once you guys see the video, you'll know which one I'm talking about. So I did some fishing also this weekend, when I went to Harrisburg with my girlfriend, and I went a few spots up near there. I had on one of the biggest wild brown trout of my life, and got him to the bank. As soon as I got him to the bank, and the thing about it was, the week before I broke my net because I fell, and man, I wish I would have been able to wrangle that fish in, but I'm telling you guys, if you guys have not drifted a Y2K in the winter for trout, you absolutely must have to. It is one of those lures that it stands out, and if you have a bead head on it, it'll get it down a little bit faster, and I think it also just gives them something to target, except for the color of the lure, and it helps them equalize onto it, or helps them come up to it or find it better with that bead, because it gets it down a little bit, shines a little bit of flash if it hits the sun right. So gold bead, Y2K, and I put a number 4 split shot up above, 5X tippet, or I think 5X tippet, and man, that's what usually my setup is, a 9'5" weight. And I know a lot of guys are probably like, oh, that's probably too long for a native stream. It might be, but the stream that I was fishing, it was a little bit more open, and I could get my casts in, and that's all that matters. I like Marty's 7'3" weight wild water. You guys will also see that rod in the video. He talks about it once he catches one off of it. That is one of my favorite rods to use while native fishing, and I think you guys would really enjoy that also. So check out Wild Water on Amazon. I do not work with them, but I want you guys to realize that this is a $100 rod, but it gives you everything: the rod, reel, line, everything you need to start out for trout fishing. If you guys are from the Mon Valley area, there will be a benefit for Marty's brother, and the benefit will help with his payments for his treatments for cancer. You know, Marty's been like another family member to me, and I think you guys should come out if you're around and support the spaghetti dinner. You guys get a whole spaghetti dinner for $10. I believe it's $7 for kids, and I will have a link to a flyer down below also. And it will, I think if you guys could come out and say what's up and help support a local guy who fishes also, and I think it will be a great thing. And I just wanted to bring you guys that attention. But yeah, so we're looking for new companies to work with. I don't want to work with just any company. I would like, if you guys have any ideas, I'd like to work with a company that is very with their pro staff, with their individually. Not saying that the other companies weren't like that. It's just that this is what I'm looking for now. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be something that I have to think about and what I will receive. I'm not looking for anything free, and that's the thing about it, you guys. A lot of you guys think that, you know, you get into sponsorships and start working with companies that you're going to be automatically give it things. That's not true. Most of the time there is only a discount and you have to pay for it. And it also depends on how much work you put into it too, I believe. Your sales and your code that's being used. You guys have to understand that you are not getting everything free all the time. And like I hear a couple of guys, oh man, I can I get this free thing? Can I get that free thing? Look, guys, you guys got to put in the work to be able to get these sponsors' attention for them to come to you. If you get a sponsor to come to you, then you're already in because they want you. It's not that hard to set up a YouTube channel. Guys, I pretty much record everything off a GoPro and my phone, and I edit with my phone. It's not that hard. It's not. And if you create content and you guys want to start working with companies from Amazon will contact you. Getting free things is awesome, but at the same time, it's the quality of the product too. You guys need to make sure before you start working with some companies that the product is what you want it to be and how you want it to work as. But yeah, so sponsorships, we talked about some fishing a little bit. And we got some trips coming up. Marty and I's got some trips coming up. In March, we're gonna go see Mr. Isaac Zettel. We're gonna go do some fishing up that way. If you guys don't know who that dude is, you need to look him up. Isaac Zettel on Facebook if you're from around here. And I mean, this dude is a hammer, an absolute hammer from the Central PA. So go give him a check out and check out his guide service and whatnot. So yeah. I've been trying to think of different things to talk to you guys about. I know I haven't uploaded a lot, and I know I haven't been doing my part on the podcast, but also there's not a lot going on right now. You know, it's winter, it's February in Pennsylvania. You know, and when you work 5 days a week and all you have is a weekend, plus you got a girlfriend, plus you got family obligations, it's hard sometimes to be able to get out and scratch that itch that you have. But I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you how it is, and hopefully I can bring you guys more content here in the near future. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I know it's probably a shorter podcast that you guys are used to, like the Joe Rogan podcast or other podcasts where it's a couple hours, but we're not there yet, but we will. Eventually we will get there. But yeah, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the Mon Valley Fisherman on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Give me a follow. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my main channel, I'll have that down in the description below. Make sure you subscribe here also so you guys get some more updates, backstories as to our fishing adventures this spring, summer, fall, and the rest of this winter also. So, yeah. Let's get 2020 started, guys. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the next couple months. Everybody's going to start stocking. Private clubs are going to start stocking. I have an idea as to what I'm going to do for like some giveaways for you guys. I would like to support the Yakagani Sportsmen's Association. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 5 buttons and give them out to you guys. So if you guys fish the Yak and you guys need a button, this is a chance to win it. Check my Facebook, the Mon Valley Fisherman Facebook, all one word. And I will eventually have a post on there if you guys haven't followed me there. That's where I do a lot of my giveaways. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for listening, actually, because I'm so used to doing videos. But make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.